Welcome to the second to last day of our 13-day countdown to Halloween, where we talk nothing but the Appalachian Mountains. We've talked stories, we've talked rules, we've talked lore, legends, we've watched some clips. I've had so much fun, and I hope you guys have too. Now today, I'm kind of going off base a little bit and talking about a specific entity in the woods. I've been pretty vague this entire time, but I wanted to do an entire episode on the Fae. The Fae, fairies, Fae folk, whatever you would like to call it, but I don't like to say fairies because a lot of people's brains go to, oh, cutesy Tinkerbell, and that is not what every type of Fae is. There's so many different kinds, and some of them are haunting. Some of them are so haunting that working with them within like craft work and things like that are really tricky because they are tricky. I've had experiences, I don't really know if I would categorize mine within Appalachian folklore, but I guess I would because they're Appalachian Fae, right? So I guess it does correlate. Any experience I've had with fairies are really confusing and tricky, and I didn't really know how to handle it, so I do talk about them a lot because whenever you start into craft work, at least for myself and everyone around me that I've watched get into it, they do approach you, and if you don't know what you're doing, you do it wrong. I'll tell you what happened to me. So whenever I got into craft work, I started receiving little gifts that I could not explain inside of my house. One was a little Fisher-Price pacifier. It looked like it was covered in dirt. And the other one was a Fisher-Price spoon. It looked like it was covered in dirt. And they were both inside of my house when they couldn't have been. I don't have kids. No one had been in my house that had kids. There was no reason for them to be laying there. So I thought this was strange, and I actually turned to TikTok like I do for everything, and I told this story, and that is where people told me, oh, I know you just got into craft work. It's probably the Fae reaching out. Don't accept their gifts. And that's where I found out that there is a whole protocol to not accepting gifts from the Fae, because if you accept one, you are now in debt to them. And what they do next depends on the type of Fae and depends on the legend you're reading. They might take your firstborn child. You may have to do little tasks that they want. You may just have a friend for life. I don't know, but I wasn't risking it. So I took each item out to my garden, and I said, these are so beautiful, but they are not mine, and I cannot accept them, and I, like a maniac, with my hands, buried them in the dirt in the garden. Now, something cool that happened after this. We had lived in this place for years. I kept telling my husband since we moved in, I really want to plant lavender by the front door. I think it'd be great to get rid of negative energy. It's beautiful. It smells good. The next year, in the exact place that I buried these two objects, lavender grew. I didn't plant it there, my husband didn't plant it there, but it's come back every single year. My husband also received gifts. He received little rhinestones and things that he also had to bury and, say that out loud. I had so many friends that I had to coach through this. They received things. You usually receive crystals or bones or something like that. I thought what I received was really strange, but alas, that's what I received. So if you're freshly into craft work or whatever, just keep that in mind. Now, working with the Fae is not really what we're talking about today. Today we're going to be talking about Fae traps that you find in the woods. So these can look like staircases leading to nowhere. These can look like mushroom circles, archways that are made out of branches, just an area that looks like it's otherworldly, a plant that looks like it's waving hello to you, strange rock formations. All of these can be Fae traps, and they're said to lead you into the Fae realm, or just to really disorient you, so it's advised to not intrude on them and walk through those things. Here are a few clips that I found on TikTok that I think really showcase this. Okay, here's the first clip I want to show you, and it's not really an archway, it's more of like a path that seems like it doesn't belong there, and that is another one that you guys need to look out for. It just looks strange. It just looks strange, and it looks beautiful, and it looks like I want to go into it. If you have a strong pull to go into something, red flag, red flag.
The most obvious Fae trap I have ever seen.
I'm gonna go touch.
Next up, you're gonna see a few of these, but this is a mushroom circle. They are beautiful, but it's very important that you do not step into one.
I found an actual Fae trap.
Now, this is one that I didn't really touch on when we were just chatting.
Red ball at the edge of the forest. Yeah, that's a trap. Nice try, Faye. Nice try.
Look how strange that is. Does that not just give you a weird feeling in your stomach? Just that red ball at the edge of the woods. Now, I don't know if that's Fae related or just something else Appalachian folklore related, but like, it's giving me a weird feeling. Next up, we have one of the archway pathway type things. It looks like a hybrid of that I've been talking about. Doesn't it just look so inviting?
Okay, first of all, naturally occurring archway. I go up to it. I know not to pass through because Fae. Come on, Tommy. They go up, start looking around. I'm like, oh my god, those are the biggest mushrooms I've ever seen. Go there. Oh my god, the biggest mushrooms I've ever seen. Oh my god, fucking biggest mushrooms I've ever seen in my life. This is definitely a fairy portal. And then, peek around this corner. I don't know if you can tell. That eternal darkness? Yeah. Portal straight to fairy world. I want to go, but I'm scared. Okay, for context, that area is down by a creek that has an altar and several fairy shrines and a lot of religious things. And I think we know why now. Your ears inside out. That was a whole ass fairy portal. Do not gaslight me. I know one when I see one.
It looks like, you know, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, freeze. In Coraline. What? Hold on. Okay, I don't know if I can put it in here. I'll get a copyright strike probably. But she steps into like a mushroom circle at the beginning when she's trying to find the well. She's like being a water witch with her dowsing rod sticks. She steps into that, right? The doorway, when she goes into it, kind of looks like this. Like, I'm going to try to put pictures, but if I get a copyright strike, I'm going to start crying. But it looks like... Wait a minute. For the next video, we have a little entrance into a tree that just looks a little bit too fairy-like to ignore.
Bro, I just got so fucking excited. I just thought I seen an amanita cap chilling in there, bro. That's a Fae fairy trap, bro. They got fucking... Damn, bro, I just got so excited. I was like, I'm about to be tripping, ball.
And for the final video, we have one of the classic archways.
I noticed an obvious Fae trap right there. And I'm wondering if we should go underneath this or around it. I'm thinking of opting around. What do you...
Something else that I didn't mention are like stumps and twigs that look laid out perfectly for you to sit on could also be a Fae trap. Now I have found a few stories. I don't have many pertaining to fairies, so this is my cry for help. If you guys have any experiences with the Fae, can you send them to me so I can do an entire video worldwide? Because I know you guys in Ireland have some stories. I know you do. Please send them to me. I want to learn. But anyways, let me read you guys the few that I have, and let's get into it. When I was around 5, we had sold the house and we're going to move into the house that I live in now. I rarely dream and even more rarely have nightmares, especially any that stick with me. This one was so realistic. I've remembered it for 16 years. I'm 21 now. Probably 2 weeks before we were supposed to be out of the old house to stay with my uncle until my current house was done being built, I had this super vivid dream about a fairy. It was telling me not to move, and that all of them would be so mad and hurt if I moved because I was leaving them. It was extremely weird, but even at 5 years old when I woke up, I just thought it was because I was sad to be moving. I was taught dreams can mean something about your feelings. I never thought too much of it until this last year. I was telling my friends about the dream and I had to stop talking because I realized how scary those fairies looked. They looked demonic. Not like any of the little people I've encountered. Native American spirits, I have stories about them too. My friend was like, yeah, you said your house was haunted. I don't think that was an I'm sad to be moving away dream. So I have no clue what those things were in my house. It definitely could have been fairies, could have been house spirits, it could have been anything. If you never had any negative reactions with them, I wouldn't worry too much, but that is interesting. I'd be really curious to know what they look like and why you thought they were fairies. Like, did they have wings and you were like, oh, that's a fairy? Because many things can have wings. Were they just small and you thought fairies? Because a lot of things can be small and not be. So I'd be really curious to know what that connection was. Alright, next story. I've always felt watched at my dad's house, even when I was really little. I knew I was never truly alone in that house, and all the bedrooms gave me a terrible vibe, but I never really said anything. My mom insisted ghosts weren't real. I later learned that one of the reasons I never felt alone was because there's a house ghost named Michael. I think that's his name. My sister told me about him a while ago. That used to throw socks and move me around in the crib while I slept. He's not important to the story, but I felt like mentioning him is a good idea. I don't know why. Yesterday I had my friend, same friend from earlier, come hang out for a bit before she went to pick her brother up from school. She's been helping me work on clairvoyance so I can communicate with the 3 girls at my home. We started paying attention for no reason I'm still unsure of. She got a few lighthearted, funny things, but eventually something started asking for food. Eventually I could hear it too. We laughed about it and went on with our lives. That afternoon I was getting ready to go out to eat with my family when something started repeating, "Do you feel alive?" in my head. At the same time I started to hear whispering behind me, but I turned around and there was nothing. This thing repeated that phrase until we left the house. Then it again started asking for food. Dinner went by without issue, but on the way home I started almost struggling to breathe. My chest felt heavy, and I swear I felt hands on my throat with thumbs pressing against my jaw. I said some prayers and set a barrier, and it stopped. I grabbed a candle on my way home and lit it in an attempt to communicate with whatever it was to make it leave me alone. It started off lighthearted with some sort of funny, but eventually I learned it was a fae and it asked for my name. I gave it a fake name and ended the communication. This thing started repeating soul in my head, and I saw something out of the corner of my room that just wouldn't leave. I knew it wanted to hurt me. I don't deal with this kind of thing, so I ended up having a panic attack and sitting in my cousin's bedroom because her family lives with us right now. I was so terrified that I could not move. I sat in there and prayed and cursed at these things for around an hour before I got the strength to get up and move to my couch. My legs felt like jello. My friend gave me her tarot reading before she went to sleep, and all she could tell me was that I needed to run. I watched a movie, cleansed the doorways the best of my ability, and went to sleep. This was at 2 a.m. I woke up at around 4:30 after having the weirdest, most stressful dream and stayed up until the sun rose so I could sleep in my bed. I'm currently back at my mom's and I'm terrified. I don't know what to do. So that's weird. There was a correlation there twice of dreams. I will say, from what I can remember when I dealt with the fae, I don't remember having any weird dreams. There was just like an air of, it felt like I wasn't alone, like more than usual than I already feel in my house that's very haunted. You know what I mean? But I can't remember any dreams. I definitely could have had them. It was years ago, but I'm curious. Well, that is all for today. I hope you guys loved these stories and watching those clips with me. Watch out for the strange things in the woods because you never know where it's going to lead you if you go. Although sometimes I think a fae trap would be a better place than where we are right now. Anyways, I will see you tomorrow for our Halloween Day episode and our final topic on the Appalachian Mountains for this series.